Hey guys, can you believe marathon weekend is just a month away?
Lights down low, still wondering what you're saying. Stay. Please don't go. I'd rather have you staying. What is this game you're playing? Even if it hurts with time, we were never meant to fight. Something at the finish line. Stay. Even if we're short on time, at least we'll never wonder why this love was so hard to find. Stay.
It's raining now. We're in Caribe. Recently, I asked on Instagram questions that would help fellow runners doing Dopey Challenge, Goofy Challenge, the marathon, any of the races, and I got some good questions sent to me, so let's get to it. Alright, so running in January at Walt Disney World is very unpredictable. One year it can be 70 and gorgeous, the next year it could be in the 40s, next year be in the 80s, next year be in the 20s. Seriously, it is. So I've had all sorts of weather conditions for marathon weekend. It's been cold, it's been hot, it's been perfect. So I thought I'd share a few tips on what to bring, pack, just anything related to the weekend. So let's get to it. So a little history on marathon weekend for me. I did my first full marathon at Walt Disney World back in 2014, and the next year I came back wanting to do something a little harder, so I did the Goofy Challenge in 2015. I stuck with the Goofy Challenge in 2016, even running it with a PICC line, which is medicine from your arm that you inject to your heart for Lyme disease. That was a tough race, but I was determined and I finished. And then in 2017 I signed up for Goofy again, but with the weather, the storms canceled the half marathon, so the only race I ran that weekend was the full marathon. But I was signed up for it, so that's what counts, right? And then in 2018 I decided to take on a big challenge, and I ran the Dopey Challenge, 48.6 miles in early mornings, 4 days in a row. Ooh, that is a toughie. So everybody doing that, good luck. The weather in January is so unpredictable. In 2014, for my first fall, it was 70 degrees for the high and just beautiful and perfect running conditions. Next year for Goofy, it was in the 40s and cold, but warmed up by the end of the race into the 60s. Next year, 2016, it was cool on the half marathon, but on the next day, it was drenched by mile 2, and I was covered in sweat, so I'll link that video. In 2017, it was 80 degrees on that Friday of the 10K for Dopey Challenge, and by Sunday, it was 23 at the race start, I think, with winds and just miserable. It was too cold. So, you never know. Last year for Dopey, freezing. freezing. So you can go back and watch my Dopey Challenge playlist and see the weather conditions and all the layers we had. Be prepared. Bring gloves, hats, scarves, things like that you don't really need in Florida, but you never know. So you'll be thankful you did if it's cold, and you'll be thankful it's hot if you don't have to use them. So better safe than sorry. For layering, it's best to I bring a core warmer tank top from Athleta I got a couple years ago, and then I put that under long sleeve running shirts, and I also layer short sleeve running shirts depending on how cold it is. And then I have compression socks, knee socks, compression sleeves, arm sleeves that you can do. Don't do cooling sleeves. I learned that mistake last year. That was miserable. I ran the Walt Disney World 5K, and I was part of the Aliens with Joyful Miles, and I didn't realize the green sleeves I ordered on Amazon were cooling sleeves. That was a big mistake, so I was freezing. In that same costume, I used my blue vest as part of the costume because it was perfect for the colors and it kept me warm. If you don't know how you're gonna do on the race and you are in layers, my dad pinned his bib to the shorts, so if he changed his shirt, he didn't have to reposition the bib and take that time out. So that really helped him. And if you wanna leave, like, say you start out with the jacket and you just don't want to deal with it, you can always ditch it on the side of the road and Disney will give it to charity. It's very sweet of them, so you don't have to worry about it and it goes for a good cause. If the jacket you're running with is one of your favorites, like I did last year and the year before, I just tie it around my waist. Make sure it doesn't cover your bib. That is very important for race photos. You don't want to lose out on those. For costume tips, I'm an ear gal, as you can see. I love my ears, but they give me wicked headaches sometimes, and I will not run a full marathon in Disney parks mini ears. They're too heavy. So I suggest if you are going to be Minnie Mouse or you want a pair of ears, find something on Etsy or Amazon, or you know, Target has them. They used to for $5, a little light pair of Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse ears that won't give you a headache and that will stay on. You just bobby pin them in the worst case and they're comfortable instead of having a headache for 26.2 miles. Not worth it. So, or if you are going to wear a hat or a visor, test out running in it beforehand to see if it gives you a headache. Sometimes I get headaches with visors, so I don't wear them a lot, and sometimes I get them with hats. But I'm planning on wearing a hat behind me for a certain costume coming up, so we'll see if I actually end up wearing it for the race or not. Be flexible with your costume. Make sure it goes with the layers that you are bringing. Also, test it out beforehand if you can. Go around the neighborhood with it, or if you don't want to, just get on the treadmill downstairs with it and test it out. So nothing new on race day. Make sure the shoes you are running in, you have been training in. Don't wear new shoes, new socks, anything new on race day. Dopey challenge is rough. 4 early mornings in a row. You don't want to mess it up by oversleeping, so please set several alarms. That's what I did on my cell phone, and I had a backup system with my dad setting his alarm to make sure if you are paying a lot of money, you don't want to oversleep. So just do it. It's annoying and it's frustrating, but it does the job. I laid out my costumes the night before the race, so I didn't have to do much the morning of. I had everything available. I would put out my costume with my watch, my knee strap, things that I'm running with, all together in one pile. So I knew everything in the morning and it could make getting ready easier. Take the first 3 races, so the Walt Disney World 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon, easy. And by easy, I mean have fun with them. Go at a slower pace. You can walk, get character photos, and just have fun. Run with friends, but don't go for a PR. That's not the time to do it. I was blessed to run with my friends from Joyful Miles for all the races, and on the last day for the full marathon, my dad joined us. After the races, each morning I would go back to the room and take an ice bath, which I highly recommend for recovery. And what helps me with the ice bath is running cold water, getting in the tub, and then putting the ice in. If you do it the opposite way, it's miserable. But if you do it this way, where you're in the tub before you put the ice in, it helps tremendously and you can last longer. I would suggest trying for 10 minutes if you can, and then take a warm shower after, and that will just warm you back up. After the 3 races, I tried to take a nap and go to the parks with my dad and just keep moving. That's the #1 tip. Keep moving. Walking, just walk around. Don't be sitting in bed all day. That works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. So keep moving. It'll flex your legs out, get rid of the lactic acid, all that. So one question I got is what to do on the day before the full marathon if you're doing Dopey. Well, last year I took it easy on the half marathon, ran with friends, came in a very slow time, but who cares about the time on Dopey? It's that you did the race and the challenge, so that's what counts, not the time. But I ran with friends, came in, had breakfast, showered, ice bath, all that. I forget if I took a nap. I think I did. And then I went to Magic Kingdom with my dad, and we had an early lunch dinner at Cinderella's Castle. And that's a tip: don't eat too late the day before the full marathon. After that, I went over to Grand Floridian Senses Spa and got a massage. Oh, especially with the Lyme disease, I needed the massage with my legs and the lactic acid, getting rid of it, and that helped renew my energy for the next day. I was able to relax and just enjoy it. I then got back to the room by 9:30, 10 o'clock, so it was not ideal with the time frame at night. So for the full marathon, I would suggest getting to bed early if you can. Those wake-up calls are early and they are rough, so you want to be rested. If you're not going to do the park that day, I would just try to relax around your hotel room, walk around the resort, and then just not stress about the race the next day. It's scary, but don't stress about it. Just hydrate. Just relax. Just watch TV, read a book, things like that. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Important, especially if you're doing Dopey or any challenge. You need to be hydrated, especially for the full marathon, any race basically. Hydrate, get water, and if you don't want to pay for the water bottles at Disney, you can always order ahead of time with food services or Amazon, or I'll link below what we ordered last year, and they deliver it to your hotel, so you don't have to go grocery shopping if you don't have a car, or things like that. If you're flying in and don't have a car, it helps. Try to eat healthy the week you're there. I know you're at Disney and you want to eat all these things, but that could upset your stomach and not sit with you. So try to eat what you normally do and wait to try new foods after the race is done. My number one tip for the full marathon. The full is such a mental race. I mean, it's 26.2 miles. What helps me is breaking it down into 4 10Ks. So say at mile 6, you've reached 1 10K, you only have 3 to go, instead of thinking you have 20 more miles to go. I think the 10Ks are easier to handle. Don't start too fast on the race. When you reach Magic Kingdom, I would stop and take a castle photo. A, when is the other time you were running a marathon with a castle? And B, if you do take this photo, tag me in it, I want to see them. I try to limit characters on the full because I am trying to get in before the balloon ladies, and I want to accomplish this race and not get swept because I did too many character photos. So that is one tip. I try to limit it to 1 or 2 characters I really want if the line is not bad, but if the line's bad, forget it. I just keep moving. So if you need to use the restroom, there's 4 parks with real restrooms. Wait and go inside the parks. It's much nicer than a porta potty, trust me. I mean, they're for emergencies, so I understand, but in Magic Kingdom, when you first enter the park, if that restroom is too crowded, wait and go to Adventureland. It usually is much bigger bathroom, and it's in and out much faster than waiting in a line. In Animal Kingdom, I love the one in Dinosaur Land section, and I always go there halfway through the race. They're nice and big, so highly recommend. Thing that helps me on the course is if I'm not running with anybody, I usually listen to music. It gets me through. I need something to just keep me distracted, keep moving. And sometimes I listen to music in one ear if I'm running with friends, just very low on volume, just to hear something in the background, because we're not talking all the time during the race. So there's some little spots, and you want music just to keep me motivated. I know for this race, my mom is doing her first full marathon, so I'm gonna have her listening to music when she wants a little extra motivation. Make a playlist with Disney songs. Any song that encourages you, that's a good running beat. Anything that just keeps you positive and uplifted, that's important, so do that. On some of the full marathons that I've run by myself, I've called my dad or my mom and talked to them. They're my cheer squad, and so it's important if you just have a cheer squad or a team with you, even if they're not there personally. You can call them and just hear words of encouragement and just feel loved. Positive thinking is a key during this full marathon, so remember that. Are having a hard time, think of the medal and the accomplishment and how great it will feel at the finish line. So endure the pain while you are on the course. It will be done. It's hard to imagine that it will be done, but it will be done. So keep it up. For parks, when else can you run in the 4 parks at Walt Disney World in one day? Seriously, that's amazing. And you get to run through ESPN. And a lot of people don't like it. I know it's a long section, but I actually enjoy it because you get to run on a baseball field and a track area, and it's a lot of fun, and it's just a change of scenery, which is important. So, and then when you get on the baseball field, you hit mile 20. 10K left on the ramps, because there is some ramps on this course. Stay on the lower side so your foot is not injured or tilted. That is dangerous. If you are in the middle or on the higher section, it's easier to tilt your foot and just something go wrong, you know. Running courtesy. If this is your first race ever, walkers, please stay towards the right, and runners on the left. Especially in crowded areas, it is very difficult. You know what area I'm talking about. Behind Magic Kingdom, back towards the road to take you to Animal Kingdom, it's very tight. It's like a little bike lane almost. And it's just torture, especially if people want to run and it's all walkers. It's very difficult, so just keep that in mind if you are walking. Let me get towards the right and clear up the left side. Now I understand if you can't, but just keep it in mind. Also, no more than 2 across, especially in those tight areas. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you see me and my mom on the course, please say hi. We love to meet new people and make friends along the way. After the full marathon, Jeff Galloway's advice is just to keep moving, walking, moving, you know, all that. So last year, after Dopey, me and my dad walked back to Beach Club through Epcot after the full marathon. Now, I know not every hotel can do that because you can only do that if you are at Beach, Boardwalk, and Yacht Club, or Swan and Dolphin. Yeah, from the Epcot parking lot, you know, because you go back through Epcot. But that was painful in our legs, but we are glad we did that. Also, for me, on the day of the full marathon after the race, I found napping does not help me. It makes me hit the wall. So I like to keep moving. When I get back into the room, I take an ice bath and a shower and just get out of the room and move, walk in the parks, do something, just keep moving. Keep my mind off the soreness, and compression pants or socks often helps with that. Especially for this race weekend, always bring your running essentials on carry-on with you. This is not the time for them to get in your checked on luggage and then have them get lost. So bring them on carry-on with you. For Dopey last year, I had 2 pairs of sneakers. I wore one set for the 5K and half marathon, the other set for the 10K and full marathon. So I wasn't wearing them back to back. I gave them a break. Multiple shoes is needed for Dopey, so don't bring just one pair of sneakers. Especially if it rains and damages the sneakers. You can always put newspaper in it to help, but you're off just better having 2 pairs. Print your waiver from the Run Disney website ahead of time and put it in a folder, and you'll be organized at the expo when you have that little folder all set with your waiver, and you just show your driver's license to people and you're all good. At the expo, I like to bring an extra tote bag with me to put my race shirt bag in, my bib bag, all that in, and it just helps so I have my hands free. Bring a rolling stick or a stretching strap, and that will help. Ahead of time, plan your costumes for each race and put them in a Ziploc bag or a packing container like the ones from Container Store, you know, the little cubes that zip and compress. I like to do that. So then I have my socks that I'm gonna wear with one outfit, my pants or my running skirt, my shirt, and every essential all together in that little Ziploc or pouch, all ready to go for race day. If I'm wearing any headgear with that, like ears or a bow or anything, I try to put it all together in that. Make a list. You need your goos, jelly beans, anything you've tested along the way. Nothing new on race day. Watch charger. So this is one thing I can't run without. It is just my little knee strap. I've had this for several years. Another essential for me is the glide for her. Now, men, there's for men, so I'm not sure the difference, but it does its job. So to help recovery, I love to get the travel size Epsom salt muscle aches and pain muscle relief Epsom salt, and I found these at Walmart. They're used to be at Target, but at least our Target doesn't have them anymore, so Walmart does, and you can order them on Amazon or online. Chargers, bobby pins, hair ties, blister rub for your feet, band-aids, ponchos, you never know, sunglasses, umbrellas. Sometimes on the race I will bring my driver's license and some money just to have for an emergency. Chapstick, you never know, things like that. Compression tights from the running store, compression socks, my Zensa sleeves, and my Pro compressions. So I hope those tips helped, and if you are doing any of the Run Disney races during that weekend, please comment below and tell me, and I will keep an eye out for you. Also, a heads up, most likely I will be joining Joyful Miles and Gerald from Res Runs for a meetup on Friday, January, I gotta do the math, 11th in the afternoon, most likely at the boardwalk area where we've done meetups before, but I'll make sure to do an announcement on Instagram, so please keep an eye out for my Instagram. It's linked below for any announcements regarding that, and I cannot wait. It's my mom's first full, so we are going to try our best. Training has taken a little turn for the worse. She injured her foot during wine and dine, so I'm just crossing my fingers for no more injuries and that it can heal properly and that she can finish, but we will see. So positive thinking, right? That's important. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you're running. Bye.